A perennial power makes its first ever trip to Roy Stewart Stadium in Murray, Kentucky. The second-ranked South Dakota State Jackrabbits enter a town perfect. The Murray State Racers seek their second all-time Missouri Valley Football Conference win. With that, we welcome you high atop the gridiron from Roy Stewart Stadium. Casey Roll with former Racers tight end Drayton Charlton Parent on hand. So glad you're with us. It's no question that over the course of the transfer portal these last few years, there have been a lot of rotating pieces across the college football landscape. South Dakota State, 2 national championships last 3 years. They were gutted this last offseason, Drayton. How have they maintained success that they've built over the last 2 decades?
Yeah, so South Dakota State was an interesting one because obviously they had that national championship in 22. They had it in 23, and I think a lot of FCS football fans were thinking maybe the torch has finally been passed from North Dakota State to South Dakota State, and then North Dakota State now kind of back on top. But as you can see, 6-0 here so far this season. They've been playing incredibly well, even when they've been down against teams like Youngstown State. They were down 14-0. They've always found ways to come back, and I think that really lies in the discipline. They're just a very disciplined program.
Well, this has been a quarterback-driven league the last couple of years. A rotating door with QBs all across the MVFC. How does Jim Ogle piggyback off of his record-setting performance last week?
Yeah, as you said, a record-setting performance. His personal best, 283 passing yards last week against ISU. I think in order to just build on that, I think you really have to hit the checkdowns. This South Dakota State defense had 4 interceptions last week when they were playing against UNI. So that's got to make you play smart. If you're a quarterback, you're not looking to try anything too crazy. Just stay with the game plan. That's what Jim Ogle needs to do tonight.
Well, for South Dakota State, it's a really hard task regardless of what subdivision you're in. When you have to replace the all-time college football leader in wins in Mark Gronowski, how is Chase Mason been able to take that step in his first year as a starter?
Yeah, Chase Mason playing absolutely fantastic this season. He's thrown 11 touchdowns, only 1 interception. He's just such a talented guy. He's obviously got a lot of size on him too, 6'4", 240. I mean, if he wanted to, he could go out there and play tight end. You know, and that's a guy he's hard to bring down. He can move. He's got really nice accuracy. I just think he's the right man for the job. He plays different than Gronowski. Gronowski was a bit smaller, more of a runner, but Mason, he's so comfortable in that pocket, and I think you just see that week in, week out.
Take a look at our starting line keys for both sides. It's easy for South Dakota State to just keep going with what they've been doing, but how do they avoid the trap game today?
Yeah, I think avoiding the trap game, it really is just going to come down to quarterback pressure. Like I said earlier, that when they played UNI, they had 4 interceptions, and now you're going up against a Racers team where Jim Ogle has already thrown 7 on the season, only 5 touchdowns through the air. So the possibility for another big secondary performance is there for the taking.
For South Dakota State, what's got to maybe see a little bit of a difference over the first 6 weeks, albeit perfect 6 weeks?
Yeah, it really has been the closest thing you can get to perfect. That's why they haven't dropped a game. I just think really you got to drive home that run game. We know that Chase Mason can pass. Now let's bring home the run game. And Ogle especially against this Murray State defense, they've been struggling a little bit at the line, so you can really make them pay tonight.
Murray State won the opening coin toss. They elected to receive. So South Dakota State's defense gets its first cracks at the Murray State offense. First time we get to see South Dakota State's Ryan Harrington tee it off into the back of the end zone. That's where Murray State's first possession begins, the 25-yard line. We mentioned Jim Ogle, an MVC best 283 passing yards last week against the 10th-ranked Illinois State Redbirds. Most passing yards by a Racers quarterback since joining the MVFC 2 years ago.
Yeah, and Illinois State today, they're actually playing Youngstown State right now, who played incredibly well against South Dakota State. That will be an interesting one as that game moves on.
First play from scrimmage goes to Jordan Washington. Had a chance to talk with Murray State head coach Jody Wright. Did mention that Washington would be the feature back today with the dual threat abilities in the pass and run game.
Yeah, that is what he said. Now, Washington, that's his 50th carry of the season now. He's just under 200 yards. He's a guy that Jody is really looking to get more involved in that run game. Obviously, we know all about Jawan Northington, and he had a pretty solid game last week against Illinois State as well. So those are 2 guys that they're going to want to get going right off the rip here.
14-40 on the game clock. 14 minutes and 40 seconds, and it will start on my whistle.
First time we get to hear from Gregory Gompf today, the referee. Wore the white cap last week in Murray State's matchup against Illinois State. Ogle to the air for the first time. Tucks and runs and gets back to the original line of scrimmage before being engulfed by that Jackrabbits front seven.
And now we're kind of seeing Jim Ogle really starting to take off as a runner. He found his way into the end zone last week, had a bunch of runs, and here we go early on. Ogle using his feet.
3 total touchdowns last week, and for Ogle, 2 of them coming on the ground. Up the middle, and a gain of 5 to set up 3rd and medium. That was Tyrell Campbell. Did not get any touches last weekend against the Redbirds. Gets his first touch of the night today.
And it just seems that the Murray State offense is really trying to throw something different at South Dakota State. When you're playing against a team with this much talent, you have to catch them off balance. And again, when we were talking with Coach Wright, he said he had a few tricks up his sleeve for today's game.
Ogle into the flat. Campbell makes the grab off a deflection. Turns upfield. Tyrell Campbell puts on the Jets. And the Racers race into Jackrabbits territory.
And that was a well-designed play right there. Campbell's just going to run a nice short little out route. He's going to make a man miss, get off me, and he's going to get the extra 20 yards there. A great run from Campbell.
Murray State's battling an SDSU pass defense.
Operator, please put 13:20 on the game clock, and we'll start on my whistle.
Second stoppage for a clock change, but South Dakota State number 2 in the MVFC in pass defense, only trailing North Dakota State in that territory and in most other defensive categories entering the weekend.
Please put 13 minutes and 20 seconds on the game clock. Thank you.
Already having some clock disputes early on.
To the air. It's picked off. South Dakota State had 4 picks last week. They're on the board for the first time with Jalen Lee.
Yeah, and that's just easy pickings for Lee. Just right over the top, nobody in front of him, jumps up, makes the grab. He got a little bit excited there. He saw the green grass and he hit the turf, but that's exactly what the Racers didn't want to happen. They were watching the film from last week, South Dakota against UNI. They saw those interceptions. They knew the secondary is ready to go and is coming to play, and that's the kind of pass you just don't want to make early on, especially after a super long play. You got all this momentum, and now it is all in way of the Jackrabbits.
Second interception of the season for Lee. Had his first last week against the Panthers. First chance we get to see Chase Mason in the South Dakota State offense. Julius Loffridge, a highly touted transfer from Fordham's first carry, gains a couple yards.
Yeah, Loffridge, he's been getting a lot of work so far this season. Last week alone, 19 carries for 76 yards. He's a guy that's really going to cause some problems for this Racer defense today.
Completely revamped running back room for Dan Jackson's Jackrabbits. His top 4 backs from last year either transferred to Washington State or signed undrafted free agent contracts. First pass of the game intended for Graham Goring is knocked down.
And that's Brian Pulley. He's just going to stick a hand out there and knock that down. Pulley's been having a nice season so far in the secondary.
9th pass breakup, most in the MVFC. Big spot for the Jacks. 8th in the MVFC in third down efficiency, a far cry from the last half decade. Mason. Mason puts on the spin cycle and lowers the shoulder and moves the sticks in the process.
Yeah, and for Mason right there, he was looking for the pass all the way through, and then it was an overextension by the Racer defense, just giving Mason the middle wide open, and he's just going to say, yeah, I'll take that free 10 yards, and he's going to go ahead and move the chains for the Jackrabbits.
We allude to Jim Ogle's two-way abilities a bit earlier. 4 total touchdowns for Mason last weekend, with 2 of them coming on the ground. Jacks back to the ground. No gain on the play. Second carry of the day on this opening drive. Loffridge was engulfed.
And we saw a little bit of that last week, Murray State playing against Illinois State. The D-line, they can make plays. You know, they've really been doing a lot better these past couple of weeks of forcing that pressure up the middle, stopping some of those inside runs. But again, I really think where it hurts the Racers is they overextend whenever the ball reaches the outside, and that's something they really got to work on.
Back on the ground, James Basinger cuts upfield. Basinger turns on the secondary and picks up 12.
And that could have been dangerous. Basinger, all he had to do was break one more tackle, and he was gone. That could have been a 60-yard touchdown, but a great tackle there for the Racers. Just make sure that you don't give up something too big.
Second first down of the drive for the Jacks, coming off that interception of Ogle. Mason pressure coming, right side, hauled in. Graham Goring up the sideline. Extra yards after contact, and the Jacks are in Murray State Field.
And I love that play. They're running 12P. They had both their tight ends on the left side of the field, and then you're just going to put your speedy receivers on the right side. Graham Goring just going to do the rest himself, breaks a tackle, and he's going to move those chains.
Did we mention there are a lot of turnovers between South Dakota State last year to this year? That's the only starting receiver back from last year's Jacks team, Graham Goring. Retooled offense for both sides. Mason going back to Goring, finding a soft spot and drops down shy of the 20.
Now, funny story about Graham Goring. I actually used to play AAU basketball with him way back in the day. He was a really good athlete. He could shoot the three, and now I'm watching him out here making plays on the gridiron.
First penalty of the game goes on the Jacks. Gregory Gompf calling the ineligible man downfield. Two sports stand out. Graham Goring at Iowa City West High School, basketball and football.
Yeah, now a penalty like that for the Jackrabbits, it's not too big of a deal, right? I mean, they still have all the momentum, but any time that you get a big play and it has to come back, it's always going to hurt a little bit. So this play right here is going to be really important for momentum.
Mason swings. There's Corey Blair. Corey Blair Jr. ushered out of bounds after a gain of about 10.
Already seeing a few guys in that offense get some touches so far. Do a really nice job at South Dakota State spreading that ball around.
Jacks are going quick for the first time. Mason, little shovel pass. Creighton Cannon, the tight end, spills out beyond the defense. And 7-yard pickup, moves the chains.
And this is what you got to love about watching a team like South Dakota State. They utilize their tight ends so well. They've had multiple tight ends this season find their way in the end zone. There you see Cannon making a nice play. But how about that juke by Mason? Just hits the defender with a little hesitation, and then the flip pass. That was an impressive move.
3 first downs for the Jackrabbits on this drive. They go back on the ground to Blair. Nothing doing. Jaden Walker was there to finish the tackle that was started by Clayton Ingram.
And the Jackrabbits are just taking their time right now. They're doing such a good job of just keeping their poise. They're not trying to force the issue. They're not going too quick. They run a huddle offense, right? And that's a big difference that you'll see between the Jackrabbits and the Racers. The Racers have really been trying to go fast, a lot of no-huddle stuff on offense, but South Dakota State really taking their time.
Bit of a surprise here for the Jacks. They've gone with Corey Blair as the feature back on this drive. Third running back on the Jackrabbits depth chart. There's Loffridge. Julius Loffridge is met immediately. He's dropped for a loss of 2.
Yeah, they tried to run the triple option there. They had a receiver end around in motion. They handed it off to Loffridge. Just wasn't any room. I almost think he could have pitched it on the end around to the receiver. I think there was a little bit of room on the wide side of the field, but at the end of the day, the Jacks still in a great spot here.
Brandon Mills was there to first break it up. He's getting some more touches because Jordan Sonneman broke his foot last week. A lot of retooling on that Murray State front 7 entering this weekend. Mason finds a soft spot, and Jack Smith weaves his way in a goal-to-go situation.
And what a dart that was. Mason put that ball on a string. His receiver made the cut to the inside, and the ball was right there on the money, splitting 2 defenders. Just a great throw, nice catch, and now you're inside the 10-yard line, and you're knocking on the door of that end zone.
Season high 4 receptions for Smith, who's really come on in that slot receiver position for the Jackrabbits this season. Mason, some misdirection in the backfield, and he's dropped. Looked to be some mistiming between Mason and Loffridge, and the Racers take advantage.
And that's a rare mistake. You will not see the Jacks do that many times today, and I'm sure Coach over there on the sidelines, he's going to be giving that offensive line a reaming into after this drive is over.
Stevens Jones was there to make sure that the play was finished. Loss of 12 on the mishandled snap. Mason over the middle. There's Cannon. Grayton Cannon spun down. Gain of 14 to set up 3rd and goal from the 6.
Yeah, Cannon, a really talented tight end. He's got a lot of chemistry with his quarterback, and right there is just a perfect example of it. He ran a nice little 10-yard dig route over the middle. Sure-handed guy. He's going to catch just about everything that's thrown his way.
The Jackrabbits have been perfect on 3rd down in this drive, 3 for 3. Mason, he did this twice last week. He does it this week against Murray State. Touchdown, Jackrabbits. Mason punches it in from 6 yards out.
Chase Mason doing his best Le'Veon Bell impression. Look at how patient he is behind his offensive line. It's almost like he was walking behind them, just letting them open up the path for him to come in. And just a nice, easy touchdown. Nobody was even touching him.
4th rushing touchdown of Mason's senior season. Eli Stater is on for the extra point attempt. And the NAIA All-American knocks it through to cap off a 14-play and 7.5-minute drive for the Jacks. Murray State had some momentum. South Dakota State flexes its muscles after a turnover. Jacks up early here at Roy Stewart Stadium. one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. 14-play, 82-yard drive spanning 7.5 minutes for South Dakota State has the second-ranked Jackrabbits up early on Murray State. No return for Trace Corum, and for the second time, Murray State's drive begins at the 25. 25-yard line is where Murray State's second possession begins in a few moments from Roy Stewart Stadium.
Big Apple Bar and Grill. Good food, good friends, great time.
What will tomorrow look like? Will it be what you expected, or something you could have never predicted? Will it be frightening or exciting? Is it the reason you can't sleep at night, or the reason you get up in the morning? Tomorrow will be all of these things. With Hub, you have a partner today who supports you in writing a more resilient, vibrant, and profitable tomorrow, protecting what matters most to you, and we want you to be ready for it.
We are learning how to save lives while making lifelong friends. We are changing the world from the ground up, and we are receiving a nationally recognized best value for our education. We are unleashing our creativity, and we are making our families proud.
How are we able to do all these things?
Simple, because we are racers.
We are racers!
Is there a racer inside you? Let's find out. Visit murraystate.edu/bearacer.
Second drive of the afternoon for Murray State. Had their first drive end in an interception. Second chance for Jim Ogle in that Racers offense to peel away at South Dakota State's front seven. They go back on the ground. Jordan Washington surges ahead for a pickup of 2.
Yeah, notice how the Racers have Cannon McCulley, the 6'3", 315-pound right guard, lining up in the wing position. Now that's new. We have not seen the Racers do that at all this season. That's one of the things Jody was talking about before the game. They're going to try some things today, really try to catch the Jacks, off guard.
Ogle swings it out to Darius Cannon. He made a lot of plays happen last week, and he's ushered out of bounds close to the yard the gain marker. Looks like he's marked a yard shy after a pickup of 6.
And that's just a smart play. That's how you utilize your athletes. That's Cannon's first touch of the night so far. And that's what you got to do. You don't want to risk going downfield against this secondary, at least not this early on. Those short passes are going to build the confidence, not only in your receivers, but also in Jim Ogle.
Both teams are clicking at 1,000 on third downs. Murray State was 1 for 1 on third in their first drive. Ogle with pressure coming. Left side. Lots of congestion near J.K. Carter, falls short. And for the first time, we're prompted with 4th down.
First time prompted with 4th down, and also that is the first pass going towards J.K. Carter so far in this one. He's another guy that the Racers are going to have to get going early and often. If you get Carter going and you get Cannon going early, that's when you can really open up the deep game for later on. Let Ogle use his confidence.
First chance we get to see Tom O'Hara in the Murray State punt game. One of the top punters in the MVFC, leading the conference in punts over 50 yards. He's met by Miles Taylor, signaling for fair catch.
And this is going to be a big drive for the Jacks. You're coming off your first drive. You scored a touchdown. Now this one is the momentum drive right here. This is where you can really stake your claim in this game and establish yourself as the winning team.
The high-powered Jacks offense back to work in a few moments. South Dakota State looked methodical on its first drive of the afternoon. 7.5 minutes, resulting in the touchdown. 14 plays for Chase Mason's led offense. He starts his second drive the same way he started the first, with Julius Loffridge toting the rock for a gain of 3.
Yeah, now Loffridge, he came into this game with 120 carries. He's the premier back for the Jacks. However, we've seen Corey Blair, who came into this game with only 4 carries on the season. He's already gotten the ball a couple of times, so it'll be really interesting to see how they're mixing guys up, who they're going to put in there. I think especially as the game goes on, you might try and see some more, second string guys, a lot of guys who haven't maybe gotten as many touches getting a chance to show what they can do today.
Early on, it's been the same case for both teams. Tyrell Campbell has been the featured back for Murray State. He's third on that depth chart. Pass is incomplete. Alex Bullock was the intended receiver. Aiden, check that, Luke Marble was under center for the first time. Speaking of wrinkles and second stringers, Luke Marble, the number 2 quarterback of the Jackrabbits depth chart, is on the field for this crucial third down.
Yeah, I think they're really just trying to put him in a position where, show us what you can do. 3rd and 7, right? You're coming off a drive where the team has scored. This is where you really get to make your mark.
Pressure coming, right, left side, almost picked. Nearly intercepted on the intended target for Bullock. Traydon Slade was there to make sure nothing happened.
And that could have been a really big play for the Racers. I'm sure that's one that they wanted. Now, that is a great drive for the Racers, holding the Jackrabbits to their own 33-yard line, stopping that momentum, making sure they don't score twice in a row. They had that issue last week against Illinois State. They were just letting them score drive after drive. But shutting South Dakota State down on their second drive, that's a big win.
Max Pelham's first punt of the night. Into the end zone for a touchback.
And that was a boot.
If you're a fan of punting, you're in the right spot. Both Max Pelham and Murray State's Tom O'Hara, number 1 and 2 in punt yards per kick.
If you're a fan of punting. I think everyone at home's a fan of punting. Who isn't?
I can think of a few kids growing up back at home who were the biggest fans of the punters being on the field. Typically the offensive players.
Game clock operator, please put 3 minutes and 37 seconds on the game clock. 3:37, and we'll start on the snap.
If you're Murray State, Jody Wright's got to be taking a huge sigh of relief. Last week against Illinois State, the Redbirds marched down back and forth for the first 4 drives for touchdown scores. Must be really relieving seeing a defensive stop in the opening quarter.
Yeah, and you also just have to realize how tough is it to go up against 2 top 10 teams back to back, and now you're playing easily the second best, possibly even the first best team in the FCS. We'll see how they fare against North Dakota State.
Ogle over the middle. There's J.K. Carter's number called for the first time for a gain of 15.
And that's what it takes right there. Just these nice little dump-off passes. That's going to get Carter some confidence. It's going to get Cannon confidence, right? And that's what it's all about. You got to take these little wins.
2 catches for 72 yards a week ago against the Redbirds secondary. Ogle back to the air. Downfield, Cannon's there! Darius Cannon's off to the races! And Murray State races into the end zone.
Not only did Cannon take that for a touchdown, but the refs are actually calling defensive pass interference. Cannon almost got dragged to the ground, but Ogle trusted him to go out and make a play. Look at that. He's stumbling as he's catching it. He was getting dragged by his collar, and he is still able to go make the play and get on the board. What a possession, what a score for the Murray State Racers. And there was that pass interference call on the Jacks, and obviously that's going to be declined.
A big question entering the weekend was, can Murray State get the big play potential they were missing last weekend? That question quickly answered by Darius Cannon. 65-yard completion between Ogle and his number 1 receiver.
And the Jacks, their one high safety, decided to commit too early, left the middle wide open, and Cannon just going to go ahead and do the rest.
Jack Tannehill knocks it through. The level of scoring up at 7 apiece. One of the new kids on the block in the Missouri Valley Football Conference has leveled things up with one of the top teams in the country over the last 2 decades, late in the first.
And not only one of the best teams in the last 2 decades, but the best team 2 of the last 3 years. And even last year was making a good playoff push.
As is customary at Murray State, after Racers touchdowns, Racer 1 takes a lap around the field.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see when you're going up against a top 5 program. You want to see that Racer 1 running around the track as many times as you can.
We were told by sports information staffers here at Murray State, Racer 1 is capped at 7 laps per game. So not sure if too many people have the over-under at 7 entering today. But
now, I think when you're playing against a team where the spread is 37.5, I think if you somehow manage to score 8 touchdowns, you're sending the horse around. I don't care if you're capped at 7. This is a top team in the country. You're racing that horse around.
That ball knuckles out of bounds. That's a procedural penalty, so that'll put the ball at the 40-yard line. Very heads-up decision by Jack Smith there to make sure he let it roll out of bounds. So the 35-yard line is where South Dakota State's 3rd drive of this first quarter begins.
Now look at this. The Jacks are bringing Marble out again to run the offense.
We're not going to speculate as to why Marble has been under center these last two drives. Mason was spectacular in that first possession of the game for the Jacks, had that 6-yard rushing touchdown. Here's Marble, the freshman from Georgia. They go on the ground. Julius Loffridge is caught up in pursuit. The Jacks were there. And a tackle for loss for Brooks Esplin.
Yeah, that was just great defense by the Racers. They did a great job that time, getting to the outside, keeping that contained, not letting Loffridge get the edge. A good stop.
Marble back to the air. Swings it down. Loffridge is met immediately. Brian Pulley makes his presence felt.
Now, Marble had Sammy Dressy wide open on the left side of the field. I guess he just didn't see him, decided to dump it off to Loffridge, but that could have been a big play.
Great, it's really early in the ball game, but you get a sense that this third down could be a possible complexion changer in this first half, especially if Chase Mason isn't able to go for the remainder of these first two quarters. Marble on the give. They pick up 4, but for back-to-back drives, Murray State's defense forces 3 and outs.
And now what you're starting to see is you're seeing the Racer sidelines really get excited. They're really getting into it. You're seeing the fans in the stands getting excited, and that's the kind of energy that you need.
Max Pelham had 4 punts all of last week against UNI. It's his second punt of this first quarter. Darius Cannon, who had that Showtime touchdown on Murray State's last drive, is back for the return. It is a delay a game on the Jacks. And if you're South Dakota State, you probably are okay with that penalty, seeing how far Pelham booted that first punt.
I was about to say, I don't think they're mad about that penalty at all. I mean, sure, they're still going to run extra sprints at practice on Monday, but I mean, yeah, that punter, he's booting that thing to the back of the end zone no matter what.
And another whistle, this coming from the back judge before the ball was snapped.
But I mean, did you see that boot? I know they're going to have to rerun the play, but man.
Game clock operator, please put 58 seconds on the game clock, and it will start on the snap due to the delay of game.
Oh, what's the saying? Picks or it didn't happen. There's video to see that last punt, albeit not going to the official stats.
Hey, you know what? Everybody at home saw it. That's what matters.
Pelham with pressure coming, almost had it blocked. Cannon lets it bounce into the end zone, and for the second time, it's a Murray State touchback.
Yeah, that was a scary play for the Jacks there. That was almost a blocked punt, but got it off, and now the Racers are going to take over in a decent spot here.
Late in this first quarter, Murray State trailed all of last week against Illinois State. They have an opportunity to get themselves in a prime spot at the tail end of this first quarter to take the lead against the second-ranked team in the country. Ogle on the keeper. Jim Ogle lowers the shoulder and gains 8.
Now, he lowered that shoulder, but he took a big hit there. He seems to be doing just fine, but I think what we're seeing, especially these last couple weeks, Ogle really making more of an effort on the ground.
Chase Van Tol, one of the new linebackers in the starting core, at least for South Dakota State, was there to make the stop. Screenplay goes nowhere. We'll see whether or not Jody Wright elects to take a snap before the end of the quarter, if he's content with taking third and short into the second.
And it looks like they're going to wait to flip the field.
Murray State and South Dakota State, two completely opposite complexions over the last half-decade, tied up in the first ever meeting between these two at Roy Stewart Stadium. Second quarter comes your way next on ESPN. Said there had to be some cleanups with third downs from a week ago where, in his words, not very sharp on third down against Illinois State. Big third down here. Baxter Wright, the second string quarterback, is stuffed. He got to the line of scrimmage no further, and South Dakota State's front seven comes up with a big stop on third down.
Yeah, Murray State now 3 of 6 on third downs, and looks like they're going to go ahead and punt this one away.
You surprised by the play call with how Murray State's pass game has been through the first quarter?
Kind of. You can see that the Racers are really trying to dial something in. They don't want to commit too much to the pass, and they don't want to commit too much to the run. And I think they're doing exactly what you got to be doing. Playing against the number 2 team in the country, don't commit too much to one thing. Find what works and then go from there. Right now, I think what we're seeing is working is those little dump-off passes. So I think they should probably start going more back to that. But I do like the idea that they're trying new things, keeping the defense on their toes. And, again, you're not going to score on every possession against a team like this. So I think right now, just trust in your defense and just trust that it's a tie game, a lot of football left to be played, and it's anyone's game right now.
Speaking of South Dakota State being the second-ranked team in the country, a large reason why is because of what Chase Mason has done in his first year as the starting quarterback. Luke Marble is back on the field for his third drive of the half. The redshirt freshman to the air, left side, and Graham Goring is there to haul it in for gain of about 6. How much of a difference does South Dakota State's offense look in terms of complexion from the last couple drives with Marble to that first touchdown drive with Mason?
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear that Marble is going to need a little bit of warming up, right? He's going to need to get comfortable, right? He hasn't really had too much game experience, and now you're getting thrown in here at the start of a game, right? This isn't garbage time. This is the start of a tied game, so that's a lot of pressure to put on a young guy.
Jackrabbits go on the ground, and that's been another storyline, Drayton. One of the most lamented front sevens in the MVFC, Murray State, averaging almost 300s of rushing yards allowed per game. They've held South Dakota State's run offense pretty quiet to this point.
Oh, it's quite clear that the Racers came ready to play today. And what I think is going to be interesting is when the Jackrabbits decide to really turn it on, because we saw them go down 14-0 against Youngstown State, and then they came back and won that game pretty handily, right? So, they are a team that has that ability in them.
Over the middle, it's almost picked. Shaden Shannon almost had his first interception of the season.
Not only would that have been his first interception, but there was a lot of green grass on the wide side of the field. That could have been a big play. And I'm sure the Jacks were not expecting to punt this many times at the start of the game.
3 straight punts for Max Pelham, 3 consecutive 3-and-outs for one of the most prolific offenses in the MVFC. This one nearly blocked, and this draws a penalty marker. This should be roughing the kicker since contact was made on the plant leg and not the leg in air.
And that's also one of those interesting penalties where, if you get even a fingertip on the ball, doesn't matter how you hit the punter, they're not going to call anything. That's just a blocked punt. But if you just miss the ball and you clip that punter, they're going to call it.
It is running into the punter, not roughing the punter. But either way, it does result in the first down. The Jackrabbits offense back onto the field.
And this is where Marble can really turn things around for the Jacks, get that momentum back. Just needs to get more comfortable. That's all it is. It's just a comfortability game right now for him. He's a young quarterback, not too much experience. But once he gets things going, he's got the right weapons around him. He's got a great O-line in front of him that's going to give him some time. It's a team effort here.
Murray State commits the fewest penalties per game amongst teams in the MVFC. Their first penalty of the afternoon is a costly one. Julius Loffridge stacked up at a line of scrimmage. Maybe got a yard on his first drive of his first carry of the drive.
Yeah, and that's what's so interesting right now. The Racers have done such a great job stopping the run, but you take a look at this South Dakota State offensive line. Quentin Christensen, he was preseason All-American, all MVFC, right? So they have a line that can really do some damage, but right now the Racers just ready to play.
Marble tucks and runs, and he's tracked down from the side for a gain of a yard to bring up another third medium.
Yeah, this Jackrabbits team does not look like the same team that we saw last week against Northern Iowa. It doesn't look like the same team that we saw earlier on in the season, just dominating teams. Right now, they're really struggling, and the Racers are taking advantage.
South Dakota State's 0 for 3 on third downs with Marble under center. Moving up front, no flag. Loffridge is ushered out after a gain of 3. So it's a big decision here. 4th and a couple, just outside the 40.
And they're going to make the decision to go ahead and punt it, which I think is the right decision. They haven't really done anything on the ground that would warrant going for it. I mean, you look at Blair has the most rushing yards right now at 13 on 2 carries, but Luffridge, 6 carries and only 5 yards, right? They aren't getting it done on the ground. I don't think you trust going for it on 4th and short.
Cannon lets it bounce off of a very high hop. Looked like he had intentions of pulling down his first return of the night, but with that punter-friendly hop, ends in a fair catch. Early in the second quarter, Murray State's holding the number 2 team in the country to 1 score. Can the Racers take advantage? Back in a moment from Roy Stewart Stadium.
Best traditions set a standard, a belief fueled by grit, revolutionary smarts, and a clear vision for winning. Because a strong tradition makes fans of us all.
Get 0% financing plus 0 down payment plus 0 payments for 90 days plus a complimentary maintenance plan on F-150. Only at your local Ford dealer.
What you'll find in Murray can't be packaged or placed on a shelf. It's a spirit, a feeling that stays with you long after you leave. It's the charm of a small southern town, where smiles come easy and hearts are wide open. This isn't a place of cookie-cutter shops or average eats. This is where soulful food meets real conversation, where every visit feels a little like coming home. Come embrace Murray, where what matters most can't be bought, only felt.
Since 1994, the Carver family has owned and operated Sirloin Stockade. From the moment our doors opened, Murray extended their hand, and the Sirloin Stockade family grew into a community. Our staff and our customers have become an extension of the Carver family, and Sirloin Stockade wants to thank you for your never-ending support. We will continue our mission to serve you and always be a tasty part of Murray life. Sirloin Stockade, serving your family for 30 years.
Statistically, if you're looking at a live box score, you would be kind of surprised to see Murray State pretty neck and neck with South Dakota State in the majority of categories. Arguably the most surprising in the entire conference. The score is still tied 4 minutes into the second quarter here at Roy Stewart Stadium. Casey Roll with Drayton Charlton Parent on hand. So glad you're with us. First ever meeting between Murray State and South Dakota State here in the state of Kentucky. Second all-time meeting. Massive complexion change from when South Dakota State last year blitzed Murray State 52-6 at Dykow Stadium in Brookings. Jim Ogle back to work on the ground. That's been something South Dakota State's been able to do these last 2 drives. Bottle up the Racers' run game. Absolutely nowhere to go for Campbell.
And as you said, they've been doing a nice job bottling up the run game, but it's been the pass game so far for the Racers that's been so nice. We saw it with that big play with Cannon, and last week Ogle got the ball to 18 different players were able to get touches throughout the offense. And I think that's something that they can really utilize again this week, just really spreading that ball around and, again, trying different things. And especially right now, the Jacks, they're in a tough spot. Their starting quarterback is still yet to be seen since the start of that first quarter.
Hussein Simsier, the backup tight end in the flat, gains 4, and 1 3-and-out is answered by another 3-and-out.
And I think right now it really is going to be the battle of the defenses. Both offenses kind of a little bit slower to get things going right now in the second quarter. We still don't have confirmation on what happened to Mason earlier on. I guess we'll see if Blair comes out with the offense again this time around.
Tom O'Hara, high booming kick sends Taylor back. Miles Taylor forced to return. Not able to pull off a Houdini act. He got by the first wave, but couldn't get by the second wave of racers led by Caleb Ford.
Now, you got to see why he decided to pick up that ball. It looked like it could have stopped right before the end zone.
Back in a few moments from Roy Stewart Stadium. Had the over-under on first half punts above 7. Well, props to you. 7 total punts between Murray State and South Dakota State. And the Jacks deep in their own territory in a tie ball game. Still rocking with redshirt freshman Luke Marble. Downfield, Alex Bullock hauls it in. First real look for Luke Marble, letting it rip. And the Jacks in motion.
Now look at this replay. There is the confidence that they were looking for in Marble. A fantastic throw, trusting his receiver, and what a catch. The concentration coming down on that one, and a huge play.
Dan Jackson elects to forego the defensive holding. Big time play from Marble to Bullock.
And just to show you guys how close this conference is, as we said, Youngstown State was up 14-0 against South Dakota State. South Dakota State ended up winning. And Murray State put up 30-plus points last week against Illinois State. And today, Youngstown and Illinois State are playing. It's 20-12 currently at this moment. So, again, it's just every team has a chance against every other team in this conference.
James Basinger, left side, gains 5. Primarily been a couple freshmen for South Dakota State, Corey Blair and James Basinger, who have had a lot of the totes in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, and it's always good to see, especially, I think, a great example where your quarterback goes down, who's next up, and now we're seeing it in other areas as well.
Marble going back to Bullock. That's been a security blanket on this drive.
Yeah, Bullock now really getting going here.
Game high 82 reception yards for the Nebraska transfer last week against UNI. Bullock had that 43-yard reception a few moments ago.
Yeah, he came into this game with 34 receptions, adding to that total now on this drive. He is the top receiver for the Jacks. Agroski, number 2, with 25 receptions, and Goring, as we've seen a few times tonight, he came into this game with 18.
There is Goring. Nearly got to that second layer of Murray State defenders. Brooks Esplin saved the touchdown. It does move the chains, and all of a sudden the Jackrabbits offense is a bit galvanized under their redshirt freshman Luke Marble.
Yeah, they're starting to wake up a little bit.
And that forces Murray State to burn its first time out of the half.
Yeah, so far, just an incredibly even game, which is not something I think many expected coming into this one. You got an undefeated team against a defeated team, and you really couldn't tell the difference based on the play that we've seen so far.
What have you noticed in terms of complexion changes on this drive compared to Luke Marble's first 4 possessions?
Well, I think Marble's starting to get comfortable, and that's going to be a real problem for the Racers, because once Marble gets comfortable, you know he has the weapons around him to go out and make plays. We saw that with Bullock on that long one. So, again, I think keep that front pressure, keep putting pressure on Marble, you know, try and show that inexperience, but Marble been doing a great job so far on this drive.
The Northern Illinois transfer, Luke Marble, FBS quarterback from the MAC, did not play last year with the Huskies. Marble swings it out. There's Jack Smith diving to the pylon, and he's in. Touchdown, Jacks.
And there is the momentum shift right there.
This was that second play, the Bullock, that set up that touchdown a couple moments ago.
And if Marble didn't have the confidence on his first couple drives, he sure has it now. A couple of big plays and now a passing touchdown under his belt in this one. So this is really where the Racers have to start locking down.
Eli Stater's second point after attempt of the afternoon. He's 2 for 2. 6-play, 88-yard drive takes under 2 minutes. And the Jackrabbits look galvanized behind first-year Jackrabbit Luke Marble. Number 2 team in the country, second scoring drive, and they're up midway through the second quarter.
Or are currently serving in the United States military, please rise so that we can thank you.
Big Apple Bar and Grill. Good food, good friends, great time.
What will tomorrow look like? Will it be what you expected, or something you could have never predicted? Will it be frightening or exciting? Is it the reason you can't sleep at night, or the reason you get up in the morning? Tomorrow will be all of these things. With Hub, you have a partner today who supports you in writing a more resilient, vibrant, and profitable tomorrow, protecting what matters most to you, and we want you to be ready for it.
We are learning how to save lives while making lifelong friends. We are changing the world from the ground up, and we are receiving a nationally recognized best value for our education. We are unleashing our creativity, and we are making our families proud.
How are we able to do all these things?
Simple, because we are racers.
We are racers!
Is there a racer inside you? Let's find out. Visit murraystate.edu/bearacer.
South Dakota State's back on track after an 6-play, 88-yard touchdown drive, leading Murray State here in the first ever meeting between the two at Roy Stewart Stadium. Short return, short kick, I should say. Trace Corum jumps on top of it to make sure no funny business happens.
Yeah, because that's what you don't want. You don't want the funny business. It's all serious business right here.
Well, depending on what you're watching on Saturdays, maybe you don't want funny business. This isn't Cartoon Network if you're watching. It is still a PG show for those tuning in.
You know what? That's fair, you know.
Casey Rowland, Drayton Charlton Parrott with you. We are PG friendly for those wondering. So, yes, could be some funny business. Not in the explicit way, of course.
Oh, never.
Jim Ogle and the Racers are back to work. Ogle on the ground. He's made things happen these last couple of weeks. Scampers out after a gain of a couple.
That was a well-designed play. Got the defense to overcommit on the inside, and Ogle was able to find the outside, get a few yards, stay out of bounds, not take a hit. Smart play.
Neither of these two offenses has seen a rejuvenation in the run game. Both teams rushing for under 50 yards to this point. Ogle on the ground. Jordan Washington makes a move into the secondary, and Washington, who's been seldom used in this first half, moves the chains.
Yeah, only Washington's third rush of the game so far. And he's going to pull a big one there, moving those chains.
We are told by Murray State head coach Jody Wright to expect more of Jordan Washington in the backfield, but so far it's been Tyrell Campbell, the freshman from Ontario, who's been the featured back. Ogle swings it out to Cannon. Darius Cannon had that touchdown reception earlier. He's cut down after a minimal gain in the flat.
Now, you were talking about how we were going to see Washington a lot more this game. You know, Jawan Northington, he's out on the sidelines, no pads on, right? And that's a big hurt for the Racers. Jawan Northington has kind of been the guy in that backfield, but now Washington getting a chance, and he's making the most of it so far.
They go back on the ground. There's Washington surging ahead. And he gains 5 to set up 3rd and short.
And another big piece to the Racer puzzle that's missing today, Kylan Galbraith, also on the sidelines without his pads on. Those are 2 big losses for the Racers. Those are 2 guys that have made plays all season, and that's not what you want when you're playing the second best team in the country.
Murray State's 1 for 4 on 3rd downs. This will convert and move the chains. Trace Corum up the middle. Big time gain and a massive stop from Jaden Oliver. He may have saved the touchdown.
And how about that explosiveness up the middle? Catches the ball, takes off. The acceleration, you just saw it. As soon as the ball touched his hands, he was off to the races. And a nice stop there to prevent what could have been a really big play.
Season-long 18-yard reception for Corum, his 4th catch of the season. Ogle. Downfield, it's hauled in. Speaking of players we barely call out of the offensive end, there's Jalen Richmond. Couple special team standouts in special spots on this drive.
Yeah, Richmond did a great job getting open on the outside there, had a step on his defender, and Ogle, now you're really seeing the confidence. He's really starting to settle in, and especially after last week, 283 yards through the air, his career best. I think he's really coming into his own at that quarterback position, and right there you saw exactly why.
Ogle, right side, going back toward Washington, this time over top, incomplete.
Yeah, right there, you're looking at your smash concept. You got Corum over the top on the post, and then you were trying to, get the outside with Richmond on the short hitch.
That was the first time that Murray State picked on Miles Taylor on that right side, that wide side.
Now Desjardins coming in. He made some big plays last week.
Has been a bit of an underlying theme today. Some of the big names on Murray State's offense last week being not called on as much so far in this first half.
Yeah, and you got to wonder if that's just Jody trying to really confuse that defense.
Speaking of confusing defenses, a lot of South Dakota State fans may be confused at how Jordan Washington and the Racers have been racing upfield. First and goal for Murray State inside the 10.
Yeah, it isn't just the running game. It's the passing game. It's everything. Racers are firing on all cylinders right now.
Ogle quick to Corum. And he's cut down after a gain of 3 through the air. Picking on that slot corner position where Chase Van Tol made the stop.
Corum did a nice job getting a couple extra yards after the catch there, trying to make some guys miss.
Ogle fades right side over the top of the Jardins. And the flag flies at the end of the play.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to call pass interference there. Let's take a look at that replay. Desjardins had a man all over him. Didn't turn the head back to the ball. Yeah, that's going to get called every time.
Oh, looks like they wave off the flag. No defensive PI, and it sets up third down at the 6.
And head coach Jody Wright is livid. You're seeing him on the sidelines here taking off his hat. He is not happy.
Possibly a game-changing call late in this first half.
That is a really big call. That's the difference between a fresh set of downs and now third down. And you know, you're on the 7-yard line. That's not exactly an easy punch in here. So, yeah, that is a really big no call.
Is this 4-down territory before half?
I think so. I think you only really get one shot against a team like this to take home a win. You got to go for the end zone. Even if you don't get it, now the Jacks have to start from very bad field position. Yeah, look at that right there.
Typically, you look at that and say he's not making a play on the ball in the case of Miles Taylor, and he's not making an effort to play the ball. That usually would constitute defensive pass interference. Would love to be a fly around the vicinity of Jody Wright and the referee Gregory Goff right now, see what they're talking about.
Yeah, typically you're looking to see if the defender was making a move on the ball. But right there, he didn't turn his head. He stuck his hands up, but he couldn't see the ball. I think that's a pretty clear PI.
Look at Coach Wright getting the fans into it.
Yeah.
You think it's a big game? Arguably the biggest game in Murray State's history. And they're in the prime spot here late in the half. The crowd to its feet on 3rd and goal. Ogle. Over the middle. It's picked. South Dakota State's got its 2nd interception of the half.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that play right there. He threw it right to the defender. I mean, he had no one open there.
And it's Joe Ullman, one of the captains in the South Dakota State defense, who comes up with a big-time stop.
I mean, and as we said at the start of this game, that defense had 4 interceptions last week, and they're on pace to do it again. They have 2 right now so far just in the first half alone. That was a pass that shouldn't have been made. I don't know if the pressure got to Ogle there. I don't know if he was maybe seeing something, if that was just an ill-timed pass, whatever it was. But when you're knocking on the door of that end zone against a team like this, you don't get chances like that too often.
South Dakota State's offense back to the field. Here's Alex Bullock on the swing. Gains 5.
Yeah, Bullock now really taking over this offense. He's been getting some more touches as the game has progressed.
Out of bounds, the 25-yard line. Second down and 5 now for the Rabbits.
Luke Marble still as the conductor of the Jackrabbits offense. At his first touchdown drive of the season, or at least of the game. Last time the Jacks offense was out there. He goes back to Bullock, makes a man miss. Alex Bullock turns on the Jets. And he's taken down at the 50. And touchdown saving stop.
What a nifty move from Bullock. Let's take a look at this replay. He's just going to kind of lower his shoulder, duck under the defender here. Gets those extra yards down the sideline. A nice catch and run.
First tackle for Dylan Rousey in the secondary, the FCS leader in tackles. James Basinger gains 5.
And now we're starting to see that tempo pick up for the South Dakota State offense. We're starting to see that energy rise a little bit here.
We've hit the 2-minute timeout here at Roy Stewart Stadium. The Jackrabbits, with a big defensive takeaway, are in position to possibly double their lead here at Roy Stewart Stadium. Half here at Roy Stewart Stadium. Casey Roll with former Racers tight end Drayton Charlton Perrin with you. It's been a less than ideal day for South Dakota State's offense with 5 punts, but head coach Dan Jackson emphasizes the first 4 minutes of the second half and the last 4 minutes of the first half. Can they get something going here late? Downfield, it's picked. There are flags. It's intercepted by Rousey, but this should be coming back with flags in the linebacking core. We'll see the official call here. Unofficially a pick, but we'll get the call here from Gregory Goff.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay here. Let's see what he was looking at. Yeah, that's an easy interception for Rousey there. Didn't have to do too much. Waiting to see what that flag is.
It is offensive holding on Grayton Cannon. And a big takeaway for the Racers defense. First interception of the year for Rousey.
I mean, and that's how you respond right there. You throw an interception, now you get an interception. Now you're back on offense. You don't let him score again. I mean, Murray State doing a fantastic job. I don't think anybody thought that this would be the score heading into halftime. 14-7. Racers now with a chance here to tie things up with a really good drive.
And if you remember as well, Murray State won the coin toss. They elected to receive the opening kick, so they don't have the opportunity to double down, score before half, and receive the second half kick. So we'll see how Jody Wright wants to orchestrate this drive. Here's Washington. Washington drives outside, and he's cut down after a gain of 8.
Yeah, and head coach Jody Wright was also talking about Washington's ability to catch out of the backfield, and he's had a couple of those tonight so far.
Ogle down the sideline. Out of reach, and there's a penalty marker. Isaiah Johnson was there in Carter's face.
Yeah, Johnson was trying to make an effort to turn his head at the last second to not get that call, but the official clearly saw enough he wanted to throw the flag.
It is pass interference on Johnson.
Now, you almost got to wonder a little bit if that's a bit of a makeup call, because that was not even as close to as much as that last pass interference looked like they got called back.
Ogle going back to the air, over the middle, just over the top of Cannon's reach.
Yeah, Cannon's been doing a nice job on those dig routes to the inside. He's got those digs, those posts. Any of those in routes, that's where Cannon really excels.
Ogle, pressure coming. Flushed out. And Desjardins was in the vicinity, and it brings up another big third down.
Desjardins was open, a little bit better of a pass, and that could have been a decent play there, but now that's going to bring up a long third down. And, you know, again, Wright was saying he wants to challenge his team to do better on third downs, and here's another opportunity to go and make a big play.
Murray State's 1 for 5 on third down this afternoon. Jacks bring pressure. Cannon not able to slip through pressure. Kobe Bretz all over it for a loss of 3. And Murray State forced to punt. South Dakota State burns a timeout with just over a minute to play in the half.
Yeah, still a minute left. That's enough time to get something going. And especially for the Jackrabbits, who I know they feel like they got to get on the board one more time before the half. Here's going to be their opportunity to do that. I think you're going to look to see maybe a few deep shots. Marble has not been afraid so far to throw it deep. It didn't pay off on the last drive, but as long as he keeps that confidence up, keeps the chemistry with his receivers, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't go back to those kind of plays here at the end of the first half.
There are a lot of practice simulations that you can run in spring and leading up to weeks, but aren't too many things that can simulate the stress of a 2-minute drill on the road in a conference matchup, and that's what we'll get to see Luke Marble do here in a couple moments.
Now, but what you'll see, though, some quarterbacks and some teams just in general, they excel in those 2-minute situations. You know, if you run it enough times at practice and you get used to the speed of it, to the urgency, to the intentionality of the whole thing, you can really make a team pay if you're ready to go for 2-minute offense and the other team's 2-minute defense isn't on the same page.
End over end kick from O'Hara. Taylor lets it bounce into the end zone. With 55 seconds to play in the half, South Dakota State will start it from its own 20. First ever meeting between these two teams at Roy Stewart Stadium. Not to the extent of what anyone thought it would be at halftime, especially considering last year the Racers were held out of the end zone and it was all Jacks at Dykow Stadium. Not the case here in Kentucky.
You know, we talk about Murray State has one of the hardest schedules out of any college football team in the country, playing against top 10 teams. Seems like every week, just being in the Missouri Valley Conference. But, man, have they been doing a great job tonight against number 2, last week against number 10, Illinois State putting up 30-plus points. They have a lot to be proud of.
Marble on the swing. There's Alex Bullock. He has been the go-to receiver so far for Luke Marble. A couple transfers have really been the swing go-to.
Yeah, and here's that speed.
Bullock,
a risky pass.
Bullock again on a play that was nearly deflected. Out a yard shy from the marker.
You know, I think Marble's really going to rely on Bullock, especially when you're that second-string quarterback. It's likely that you just have more confidence in your top target. You know, that's the guy that you're probably passing the most to in practice. That's the guy you probably have the most chemistry with. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bullock ends tonight's game with, 12-plus receptions on the night.
Marble. They go on the ground. Julius Loffridge tripped up after a gain of 5. The sticks move, and South Dakota State still in work late in the half. Marble. The pressure coming. Marble scampers out of bounds after a gain of 3.
Yeah, he was looking deep down the field. It looked like he saw Graham Goring down the left side of the field. Didn't want to commit to it, made the smart play, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
One timeout left for either side. One thing to note, Eli Stater, South Dakota State's kicker, has missed the most field goal attempts out of any kicker in the league. So getting in the field goal range has not been an automatic for the Jacks offense this season. Marble, lots of time, over the middle, hauled in. There's Jack Smith.
Yeah, that's just too much time to give a quarterback. Racers got to bring more pressure than that. And Marble making the absolute most of that time he was given.
There's a timeout burned by the Jacks with 13 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, and as you said, if they're not trusting their kicking game, this is going to be, everything's going to be 4-down territory. So I think you're just going for the end zone here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bullock, to see Goring, to see some of their top weapons, Gannon at tight end, probably going to try to bunch him up to the wide side, get him in the end zone, throw it up deep. They might try to do one little play here before they go deep, try to get to around the 30-yard line, at least keep the field goal on the table, but put yourself in a position where you feel comfortable enough to go either way.
Eli Stater's season long was 36 yards. Would need at least a good 25 yards to get within relative distance. They put a couple seconds back on the clock. Marble. Downfield. And a flag flies. Bullock was engulfed, and flags go flying deep in the secondary.
Yeah, that was definitely pass interference on the defense there. Bullock going deep, and this is exactly what I thought Marble was going to try to do, get it to your top playmaker. And he had a step on the defense. That's why they ended up, making that play. Sometimes when you're a secondary player, it's actually the smart move to take the pass interference to prevent a long touchdown.
So with 10 seconds left in the half, Ball's at the 31. If they weren't to gain any other yards from here, it would be 48 yards, 49 yards in a field goal attempt.
Now, theoretically, you have time for a couple plays here if you try to go for these quick little out routes, try to get your receivers to the sideline, stop the clock.
Right sideline. Incomplete. They had Ogroski in behind the secondary, and with 5 seconds, maybe have time for one more quick play with one timeout, or do you feel like Dan Jackson? Oh, it looks like they will run one more play.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a spot here where if they want to go for the field goal, you need a quick out route to the sideline, have your receiver get out of bounds, keep 1 second on the clock, set up a field goal. That, or you just go straight for the end zone.
And Coach Wright burns his last timeout. 5 seconds to play in the first half during halftime here at Roy Stewart Stadium. We'll take a look at our first half stats and analysis through the first 30 minutes of play. The team leading at halftime, not a surprise to too many people. They might be a little surprised of what the point spread at halftime is between the two teams.
Yeah, obviously the overall game spread 37.5. The Racers doing a fantastic job staying within only 7. Now, granted, this is not the full strength of South Dakota State, obviously missing their quarterback, who we still haven't been able to confirm why he hasn't shown back up. But, you know, I think Marble's been doing a great job. He's really started to get comfortable, and now there's another opportunity here. Looks like they might have one more opportunity to take a shot at the end zone.
Cannot afford to have anything inbounds or a tackle inbounds. Marble. Left side, incomplete, and that is the end of the half. Looks like South Dakota State was playing for something toward the end zone instead of playing for Stater. As alluded to, he does lead the conference in missed field goals. You have to wonder if that factored into the decision late there.
100%, and also, as we were kind of alluding to earlier, South Dakota State's going to start the second half with the ball. So I think maybe they're thinking, all right, a field goal isn't too big of a deal here. Let's go for the end zone, and we're just going to start off right in the second half.
It was a 2-quarterback effort for the Jacks. Chase Mason got it started with a rushing touchdown. Luke Marble had a touchdown of his own, and at halftime at Roy Stewart Stadium, the number 2 ranked Jackrabbits are up a touchdown on Murray State. Back in a moment from Roy Stewart Stadium. Stadium here in Murray, Kentucky. It's been a pretty good one so far between number 2 South Dakota State and Murray State. Casey Roll with former Racers tight end Drayton Charlton Parent on hand. So glad you're with us. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. First for the Jackrabbits. Man, there's a big-time game coming up next week on linear ESPN against number 1 North Dakota State. South Dakota State's got the 4th longest home win streak in FCS football history. 33 consecutive wins at Dykehouse Stadium. A win next week against North Dakota State would put them in a tie with Eastern Kentucky with 34 consecutive wins for the 3rd longest home win streak in FCS football history. Indiana State near the bottom of the FCS, or at least the MVFC, but they're also giving a top team in the country a run for their money at half. Only down 3 to number 1 North Dakota State. And then a South Dakota battle between the Jackrabbits and the Coyotes in the early end of November, 3 weeks from now, as we look at the Murray State upcoming schedule. In Ohio to battle Youngstown State back here at Roy Stewart Stadium to battle the Salukis of Southern Illinois on November 1st, and then out west in northern Iowa to battle the Panthers on November 8th. A look at our upcoming schedule for both teams as we come up closer to the start of the second half here in Murray. Back in a few moments. Stewart Stadium as we take a look at some of our halftime stats between the Racers and Jackrabbits. Despite two different quarterbacks going to work for South Dakota State's offense, Chase Mason did not return to the game after that first touchdown drive. South Dakota State has held its own with Luke Marble, who had a touchdown drive of his own. Both teams over 300 combined passing yards. But what surprised you about the running game not really being there for either two teams?
Well, I think it's very surprising, especially you look at Julius Luffridge. 9 carries so far, only 20 yards, and that's not what we've seen out of him, averaging only 1.6 yards per carry in today's game. So clearly their run game just hasn't been doing too much. You look over at the Racers' run game, you got Jordan Washington having a pretty good game so far, averaging 7.8 yards a carry, 5 carries, 39 yards. But really, it has been done in the passing game. You're seeing Bullock, he's been targeted 8 times, already has 6 catches for 99 yards, and that includes 49 yards after the catch. So South Dakota State really getting that passing game going. And then you look for the Racers. Yeah, sure, there's a couple of those interceptions in there, but other than that, Cannon, Corum, Campbell, these are guys that are starting to get involved in the passing game, and I think you can really see this game might look very different in the third quarter, I think.
What would you say the complexion is between these two teams right now in the first half?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is the momentum shifts. I mean, you saw it at the start of the game. Before Mason went down, South Dakota State had all the momentum, and it looked like they were going to dominate. And then the Racers, they kind of took over, and they found some momentum, got themselves back in the game, and now here we are at halftime, 14-7. So right now, the Racers are playing great, but South Dakota State, they really got to step on the gas a little bit.
Back in the moment with some first-half highlights in the moment.
Razor Band President Tyler Buston.
back at Roy Stewart Stadium in Murray as we take a look at some of our halftime highlights of the first 30 minutes of play.
There's that interception by Jalen Lee early on, the first of 2 interceptions for the Jacks tonight. And here's a big catch and run here down the sideline, and that would help set up their first score of the game, right? Not quite here, about on the next play. It was a catch from Smith. And there's Gannon, the big tight end.
And this was one of the last few plays that we saw Chase Mason in that first half. Did not see a disclosed reason as to why he didn't return, but Murray State would get things going through the pass game in its own right.
Yeah, and there's the big one right there for Cannon. Going to take that one all the way to the end zone. And that really was a big momentum shift for the Racers. They were able to take that one for a while. But matching the deep shot down here, Bullock with the grab and the concentration. There you go, first down. Bullock again, another big catch near the sideline. And that's going to set up a nice finish to the drive. There's Smith diving into the end zone. And the Racers, another big catch and run there. That's Corum. Corum's at 2 catches, 25 yards so far in this game. There's Richmond, who had a nice grab. And Washington, who's been having a decent game so far. There's one of his runs. And Ogle to the end zone. That one was a big one, got picked off, completely shut down that Racer drive, that momentum. And here is our final highlight of the half. There's Rousey going for that easy interception, going to take it the other way.
Some of our first half highlights between the Racers and the Jackrabbits. Second half comes your way next from Roy Stewart Stadium on ESPN+. second half in Murray. The Racers and the Jackrabbits in a matchup that not too many people would have expected the halftime score to the sit-out with the Jacks up 7. Casey Rowland with former Racers tight end Drayton Charlton Perrin with you. So glad you're with us. This could be a very decisive drive to start the second half. Murray State won the opening coin toss, elected to receive. Their first drive ended in an interception. South Dakota State with a bit of momentum has a chance to take complexion or at least control of the game with this first drive.
Absolutely, and I think it'll be a real tell to see if it's going to be Marble or if Mason's going to come back out. I'm trying to find him on the sideline here. It looks like Marble's getting ready to head back out there. Still don't entirely know what's going on with Mason, but that's been a big loss, and they've felt that ever since he went down.
Jack Tannehill descended down to start the second half. Second squib kick of the afternoon. And a very soft return up the middle for David Alpers, one of the upmen, the tight end. Prime starting field position for the Jackrabbits to start the second half with the ball spotted at the 40.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised that they went with the squib kick there. I mean, you want South Dakota State to start at the 40-yard line? I mean, it's a risky play, and I guess we'll see if it pays off for them.
South Dakota State's first 4 drives under Luke Marble ended in 3 and outs. First drive with Marble taking the snaps in the second half. Starts with Julius Loffridge, who lowers the shoulder and moves the chains on his first carry of the third.
And that's the Loffridge we were expecting from the start of the game. That's exactly what he can do. He's a hard runner. He's fast. He's strong. He can lower his shoulder, get those extra yards. And I think if he can get going early on in the second half, they can really turn this game around.
10 carries, 25 yards for the preseason All-American. They call Loffridge's name again. This time a more modest couple yards with contact coming at the line.
It took more guys to take him down than yards that he accumulated on that run. I love a running back who just keeps turning those feet.
2-time All-Patriot League selection at 4 of them his last 2 years. Marble underneath. Knocked down. Grayton Cannon was engulfed in double coverage.
Yeah, that was a risky throw right there. He's trusting his big tight end to go and make a play. But, again, a little bit risky, especially when you've already thrown a pick earlier on in this one. I think those are the kind of passes you might want to think twice about. You know, when one of your guys is in double coverage, even if it is your big tight end that you trust, you know, that's maybe not the most high percentage pass to be making.
The Jackrabbits were 4 for 8 on third downs in the first half. Marble wide open in the flat. Jack Smith up the sideline, stays in bounds. Smith with the Houdini act. Tight ropes the end line. And just like that, the Jackrabbits have paid her.
I have no idea how Smith stayed in bounds. Take a look at this right here. He's just going to hit him with a little hesitation. Ooh! Stays in bounds. The feet doesn't touch the sideline, and he's gone. It almost looked like he surprised himself that he stayed in bounds.
Shaden Shannon was the one who made contact with him up the boundary, but it results in a touchdown. Very quick drive to start the second half for the Jacks. Extra point from Stater is true. 4 plays, 59 yards. Don't blink, you might have missed something. 1 minute, 4 seconds is all it takes for the Jackrabbits to announce themselves in the third. Murray State's first drive of the second half comes your way next after this timeout.
Best traditions set a standard, a belief fueled by grit, revolutionary smarts, and a clear vision for winning. Because a strong tradition makes fans of us all.
Get 0% financing plus 0 down payment plus 0 payments for 90 days plus a complimentary maintenance plan on F-150. Only at your local Ford dealer.
What you'll find in Murray can't be packaged or placed on a shelf. It's a spirit, a feeling that stays with you long after you leave. It's the charm of a small southern town where smiles come easy and hearts are wide open. This isn't a place of cookie cutter shops or average eats. This is where soulful food meets real conversation, where every visit feels a little like coming home. Come embrace Murray, where what matters most can't be bought, only felt.
Since 1994, the Carver family has owned and operated Sirloin Stockade. From the moment our doors opened, Murray extended their hand, and the Sirloin Stockade family grew into a community. Our staff and our customers have become an extension of the Carver family, and Sirloin Stockade wants to thank you for your never-ending support. We will continue our mission to serve you and always be a tasty part of Murray life. Sirloin Stockade, serving your family for 30 years.
Quick start for South Dakota State to begin the third quarter. Took 1 minute 4 seconds for Luke Marble to find Jack Smith. South Dakota State head coach Dan Jackson emphasizes the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. We'll see what the point of emphasis is on defense for the remaining 3 minutes of change in the start of the third quarter, with Murray State beginning its first drive of the second at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, this is going to be a big drive for the Racers right here. Again, had a really nice first half, a great second quarter as well. So now this is your shot. You come out in the third quarter. This is very reminiscent of what happened in the first quarter. South Dakota State scoring on their opening drive. How do you respond now?
Jim Ogle was spot on in the first half, 172 passing yards and a touchdown. They start the first drive on the ground. Minimal gain of a couple yards. It's been a two-man game in terms of the efforts on the ground between Tyrell Campbell and Jordan Washington today. That was Washington toting it for a couple.
Yeah, Campbell's been able to step in and kind of help out with that role. With Northington out, Washington's kind of taken over Northington's role, and Campbell's kind of taken over Washington's role here.
Washington gets his number called again on the second surge, gets past the marker and moves the chains.
Made a couple of nice moves there, cutting up field, got a few extra yards after contact. That's what you want from your running back. If you can continue to move upfield, if you can continue to get north through contact, came up with a really nice play.
Joe Ullman in that second layer of South Dakota State's defense was there to bring him down, had an interception in that first half. Cannon on the handoff, upended after a gain of 5. We saw tons of that last week against Illinois State. He gets on the ground for the first time today against the Jacks.
Yeah, and it's a very smart play. Cannon's arguably the fastest guy on your offense, incredibly quick, super athletic guy. You want the ball in his hands, and that's just another way to get it done.
Ogle looking right side, hauled in. First time Lucas Desjardins has had his number called today.
Yeah, Desjardins finally getting on the board here for the Racers. Had a big week last week against Illinois State. Now he's getting involved. Again, very sure-handed guy. You're hard-pressed to find him dropping a pass, and right there ran a really nice comeback route. Ogle got him the ball on the money.
Second time he was targeted today. The first time was a controversial no defensive pass interference call late in the first half. Ogle downfield. Looking, almost picked. It's in the air. Cannon, did he come down with a football? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Darius Cannon with a circus act hauls it in on the deflection.
Oh, we're going to need to take a look at that replay. That is phenomenal. Look at this. It looked like it should have been an interception. The dive, ball goes in the air. And a great effort from Cannon, and that's going to stand.
Someone call the Sports Center editor's desk. Man, there have been some really good catches in the game of football, or at least circus catches the last couple decades. You think of that Jermaine Kearse catch in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. I mean, that was same circus act right there. We do have a timeout taken, which will send us to a timeout here at Roy Stewart Stadium. The Racers are racing and driving here against the Jacks. Murray State driving here in their first possession of the second half. A little bit of circus acts have definitely aided them in their pursuits. Jim Ogle over the middle for J.K. Carter, a bit long out of reach. There is a marker down.
Yeah, the officials have been calling pass interference. Let's see if that's the decision they've made.
Here's the call coming from Gregory Goff. They call that pass interference on Miles Taylor. If you remember in that first half, that no call PI in the end zone, that was with Taylor in coverage. This time they tagged Taylor to set up 1st and goal.
It's reminiscent, though. It's a little bit dangerous down here passing. You threw that last interception at the start of the game in the red zone. You don't want to make that same mistake again.
Direct snap. There's Washington. Nowhere going. He lost at least 4, depending on where they stop forward progress. With the way that the game has gone in terms of neither team really establishing a footing running the football, are you a bit surprised? First possession, 5-yard line. Try to punch it in by running the football?
No, I mean, I think, again, part of that probably does go back to the first quarter when you were, within the 10-yard line. You throw that interception in the end zone, just trying to limit some of those mistakes. But then again, Ogle, he's been hitting his receivers lately, so I do think this might be a pass right here.
J.K. Carter at the top is in one-on-one coverage. Into the flat. There's Klein Peter. Lost the football. It's out of bounds. almost a dangerous cough up there from the Murray State tight end.
Now, they did opt for the pass, as we're going to see here, but again, it's just limiting these red zone mistakes. That could have been really bad. Not only, he fumbled it out of bounds, so it ended up working out, but that ball, it went up in the air first. If that was caught, that would have been an incredibly costly mistake for the Racers.
If you're Murray State, you'll take that. Fumble out of bounds instead of fumble into the back of the end zone, which would be a touchback for the Jacks.
And it's happened before in games.
There's Washington. Gains a couple yards. It's early in this third quarter, but do you feel like that call was made to make it more fourth and manageable and a go-for-it situation?
Well, it looks like the offense is staying on the field. So, yeah, I think maybe that was just a management play. Maybe they saw something. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see them attack the wide side of the field. As you can see, they got two tight ends out to the left side here, one on the line, one in the wing.
Murray State was 3 for 4 on fourth down last week against Illinois State. Ogle. Pressure coming, and he's dropped. Ogle is taken down. Dawson Raperna's third sack of the season. Forces a big-time turnover on downs.
And not only that, but look where the stop was made. South Dakota State is going to get to start past the 10-yard line. That was a really good stop for multiple reasons. They got decent field position here. They're not backed up into their end zone. They have a little bit of room to work with now.
The Northern Illinois transfer, Dawson Raperna, who had a career-high 4 tackles last year against the Racers at Dykow Stadium in Brookings, gives the ball right back to a fellow Northern Illinois transfer and redshirt freshman Luke Marble. His second drive of the half starts with Loffridge on the ground. Julius Loffridge taken down from behind after he gains a first down. That was Kobe Roberts in pursuit.
Yeah, Loffridge now really getting in the zone. You're starting to see his last couple of runs, he's already racked up just as many yards as he did altogether in the first half.
They go back to Loffridge up the middle, and once again, Roberts there to meet him.
Yeah, Loffridge now at 13 carries, 41 yards.
He has 2 100-yard games on the ground this year. His season best 176-yard game against Youngstown State a couple weeks ago. 3 straight runs to Loffridge. Sets up second and medium.
Yeah, and here now they're opening up that pass game. I wouldn't be surprised here if we see Bullock get involved, Gannon, some of these weapons here. Yeah, now we see Bullock checking back into the game. It looks like they're probably going to be looking for a pass here.
Correction, it's third down, not second down. Third and medium. Third and a long 4 from the 32. Jacks are 5 of 9 on third down. Marble with pressure coming. Shoveled out of bounds. Closest to it was Bullock, and that forces a punt. Big-time stop on defense for the Racers.
Yeah, forcing that punt is huge. Marble was looking for his guy, Bullock, down the field. Just couldn't make it work there. Smart play, not getting intentional grounding. Make sure you get it in the right area. Now they're punting here. And as we've seen all game, their punter's got a boot on him.
Both punters have been very active today. Max Pelham out there for his 4th punt of the afternoon.
59-yard average as long as 67 yards today in this game.
Goes over the top of Cannon and into the end zone. South Dakota State almost got to it. Kobe Cotton nearly had a play on keeping that inside the 5. 7.5 to play in the third. Big time drive coming up for the Racers. Down 2 scores.
Big Apple Bar and Grill. Good food, good friends, great time.
What will tomorrow look like? Will it be what you expected, or something you could have never predicted? Will it be frightening or exciting? Is it the reason you can't sleep at night, or the reason you get up in the morning? Tomorrow will be all of these things. With Hub, you have a partner today who supports you in writing a more resilient, vibrant, and profitable tomorrow, protecting what matters most to you, and we want you to be ready for it.
We are learning how to save lives while making lifelong friends. We are changing the world from the ground up. And we are receiving a nationally recognized best value for our education. We are unleashing our creativity, and we are making our families proud.
How are we able to do all these things?
Simple, because we are racers.
We are racers!
Is there a racer inside you? Let's find out. Visit murraystate.edu/bearacer.
Halfway through the third at Roy Stewart Stadium, Murray State's got its second possession of this third quarter. Casey Rowland, Drayton Charlton Perrin with you. So glad you're tuning in. First ever meeting between the Jackrabbits and the Racers here in Murray. The Racers have defied a lot of expectations to this point, standing toe-to-toe with the number 2 team in the country. Speaking of number 2, there's Tyrell Campbell. He's been the second back on the Racers' depth chart today. Picks up 10 on the ground to move the sticks.
Yeah, now it's really interesting. Again, you look at the score, South Dakota State up 21-7, but when you look at the game comparison, we're talking total yards. It's very evenly matched as far as total yards, 338 to 281. You're looking at pass yards, 256, 215. It's just a very close game. I think the biggest thing right now is going to be third down conversions.
They go back on the ground. Washington swipes it out wide, and he's stacked up for minimal gain. Aaron Wolfkale Holston among the defenders who were first there.
No sacks so far yet in this game by either team.
Ogle to throw. Screen, it's intercepted. It was knocked around. No, they said it was incomplete. It looked like initially Blake Lefferman was able to haul it in. It did hit the turf. Would have been a crucial fourth pick if that was able to be upheld.
Yeah, we're going to take another look at this. He gets the left hand on it, right hand, grabs it. Yeah, and that ball's just going to hit the turf. Quick reflexes, just didn't have enough on it.
The former tight end, he moved from tight end to defensive end last year on the other side of the football. Third and long for the Racers. Ogle is engulfed. Kobe Claiborne combining with Dawson Raperda to make the stop.
Yeah, it got a little bit of a unique little celebration there. I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Been around football for a little bit. Kind of surprised in the era of social media. You haven't seen all the celebrations yet?
Well, that one looked pretty new. I mean, it looked like he just came up with that one on the spot. He had a little shimmy going.
Tom O'Hara the punt. And fair catch signaled by Taylor, and that's where South Dakota State's third drive will begin of this third quarter at the 35.
Yeah, only 82 total rushing yards for the Jacks, most of those coming here in the start of the third quarter. But passing game, they're doing all right. Marble, 12 of 20 right now, 187 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, he's really started to come into his own in tonight's game.
Marble working in the pistol. Julius Loffridge makes a cut to the right side and gains 3.
Yeah, Loffridge now is going to hit 50 yards on the game on 15 carries. But yeah, a few guys getting touches in that backfield. Bassinger, Blair, you know, Marbles ran it a couple of times. Mason obviously had ran it. He got a touchdown.
They go back on the ground, and Loffridge sets up third and medium with a gain of a couple.
Loffridge on the handoff again. Pushes forward.
Inside 5 minutes to play in the third. One scoring drive in the second half so far. That was the first drive of the third quarter. 4 plays, 1 minute 4 seconds. That touchdown from Luke Marble to Jack Smith.
Yeah, neither team has really tried to take over the second half since coming out of the locker room. Typically, one team comes out, you know, just ready to go after the first half. Neither team has staked the claim yet.
Smith in the flat is cut down. Marion Pond stopped him a yard shy of the marker. And that forces a Jackrabbits punt.
Yeah, another punt for the Jackrabbits.
Has been a very busy day for both punters. 5th punt for Pelham. He had 4 punts all of last week at home against UNI.
Averaging 61.5 yards per punt so far in this one.
And a fair catch signaled by Jalen Richmond inside the 15-yard line. 10-yard line is where they mark it, and that's where Murray State and Jim Ogle will head to work. What's been the big difference you've noticed for the Racers offense in this third quarter from the success they were able to generate in the first half?
Well, they haven't really been able to build on that success too much. They haven't really carried their momentum into the second half. But as I was kind of saying earlier, neither is South Dakota State. It seems like the third quarter so far has just been an extension of the second quarter. It didn't seem like anybody came out more fired up or with more energy. It kind of just seems more of the same that we saw in the second.
On the ground, Washington stacked up at the original line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of an inch.
Met up by a group of Jackrabbits, including number 11, Joe Allman. Run for no gain, leaves it at second down and 10.
Jordan Washington on the ground, 52 yards. 3 straight games he has set season-best rushing performances at 51 yards in the loss against Illinois State last week. Ogle right side, there's Desjardins. Cut down after a gain of 3. Working one-on-one on the corner there.
You know, and speaking of a guy who has a chance to go back-to-back career bests, Ogle as well had 283 passing yards last week against Illinois State. Now this time around, he's already up above 216 yards. He is on pace to maybe hit 300. That would be his first time ever getting a 3 in front of a triple-digit passing number.
Murray State still hasn't figured out third down. They're 2 of 9. And it looks like it'll be 2 of 10. Could not get it to go by the SDSU front 7, and that forces a 3 and out.
Yeah, and they just haven't been good on third downs. 2 of 9 on the game so far. South Dakota State a little bit better, 5 of 11. But, again, that's just something that Jody Wright was saying they got to work on. Sorry, they're now 2 for 10 after that third down.
We're playing punter bingo right now between Pelham and O'Hara. Their fair catch signaled by Isaiah Castaneda Garcia.
And they're going to have fantastic field position inside the 50. It looks like they're going to mark them at the 47.
Best starting field position for the Jackrabbits on the drive today in the Murray State field. Murray State side of the field.
Yeah, this is where the Jacks really need to get something going here. You got great field position. You haven't really been able to get anything going on the last few drives. This is where, if you're going to stake your claim to this game, if you're going to take over, this is where you do it.
On the ground for the first time today, we get a chance to take a look further into the SDSU depth chart. There's Josiah Johnson, freshman from Milwaukee on the ground. Gains a couple. Four different running backs have toted the ball for the Jackrabbits today. Loffridge, Basinger, Jackson a couple moments ago, and then Corey Blair. He was the featured running back on South Dakota State's first drive of the game. They go back of the ground. There's Johnson. Takes the handoff out across the marker to move the sticks.
Yeah, it's always exciting to watch a running back who hasn't had too many touches start getting in the offense a little bit. You can just tell in the way that he carries the ball, he's excited, he's hungry, he wants to get those yards, and a couple of good runs here so far on this drive.
Haven't seen Luke Marble go to the air on the drive until now. And he chooses to go on the ground, so not quite going through the air.
Now I am seeing Mason over there on the sidelines looking onward. He's still got his pads on, still got the helmet on. He's walking around. So whatever he might be dealing with, whatever's keeping him out of the game, it doesn't look like it's anything too serious.
For those who are just now joining us, Luke Marble, the backup quarterback for South Dakota State, has been SDSU's guy ever since the second drive of the game. Chase Mason's first possession, 14 plays, 7.5 minutes, resulted in a 6-yard rushing touchdown, but since that point has not been back on the field. On the ground, there's Johnson again. Josiah Johnson is making his presence known on this drive. Another stick-moving carry.
Again, you just love to see that hunger, just that ambition in Johnson, just the guy who's like, this is my shot. This is where I get to show what I can do. And he's making the most of his moment right now.
Low-scoring third quarter, one touchdown accounted for by the Jackrabbits. On to the fourth. Can South Dakota State stave off an upset? 15 minutes are left in regulation here at Roy Stewart Stadium.
Final score in men's basketball, Racers.
South Dakota State driving as we begin the fourth quarter at Roy Stewart Stadium, an ongoing drive which has seen its seventh play. A lot of third stringers and fourth stringers on this drive, most notably freshman running back Josiah Johnson, who gets another carry. He's cut down after a pickup of a couple. Clayton Ingram was the first one to him.
Yeah, and that's just a nice establisher run, establish the new set of downs.
Johnson on the ground again, carries a couple racers with him to bring it a third and a long one.
And now you can see Johnson's really brought the energy level of that offense up. It just seems like they now have this sudden burst of energy.
There's Johnson again running. 3 straight runs to Johnson and 3 straight first downs.
Yeah, they're going to move those chains, and this is looking like a really promising drive for South Dakota State.
The freshman from Milwaukee, Josiah Johnson. .2,300 rushing yards and 34 touchdowns as a senior at the Milwaukee Academy of Science last year. Johnson, he makes a move, and he's bulldozed out of bounds a yard or two shy of the goal line. Shannon was there to knock him out, but a big-time run for Johnson.
Now, that was a mega hit. Josiah could have gotten the end zone, but boom, he got absolutely leveled.
Back on the ground, Johnson. Did he extend across the pylon? He did. Touchdown, Josiah Johnson. Into the end zone to extend the South Dakota State lead. His first career NCAA rushing touchdown.
Yeah, and there it is right there, right up the middle, keeps pushing forward, gets the ball over the plane, and it looks like it's about to be 28-7 here. Now, South Dakota State, they're starting to make this score look a little bit more like how they imagined it. But if you've been watching this game from the start, you know Murray State has really been giving it to South Dakota State. This has not been the lopsided game that the score might show.
Eli Stater, 3 for 3 in PATs. And he remains perfect. 2 touchdowns have been scored in the second half. Both have been owned by the second-ranked team in the country. Just over 13 minutes to play. Can the Racers piece something together at Roy Stewart Stadium?
Best traditions set a standard. A belief fueled by grit, revolutionary smarts, and a clear vision for winning. Because a strong tradition makes fans of us all.
Get 0% financing plus 0 down payment plus 0 payments for 90 days plus a complimentary maintenance plan on F-150. Only at your local Ford dealer.
What you'll find in Murray can't be packaged or placed on a shelf. It's a spirit, a feeling that stays with you long after you leave. It's the charm of a small southern town, where smiles come easy and hearts are wide open. This isn't a place of cookie-cutter shops or average eats. This is where soulful food meets real conversation, where every visit feels a little like coming home. Come embrace Murray, where what matters most can't be bought, only felt.
Since 1994, the Carver family has owned and operated Sirloin Stockade. From the moment our doors opened, Murray extended their hand, and the Sirloin Stockade family grew into a community. Our staff and our customers have become an extension of the Carver family, and Sirloin Stockade wants to thank you for your never-ending support. We will continue our mission to serve you and always be a tasty part of Murray life. Sirloin Stockade, serving your family for 30 years.
South Dakota State's beginning to put a little bit of a foothold on Murray State as we're late in this ball game. Couple scoring drives in this second half. Both belong to the Jackrabbits. Short kick to the 30-yard line and a fair catch is signaled by the Racers, who have their best starting field position of the game. That was Austin Bradley who made the fair catch call.
Yeah, now around the Valley today, we got a couple interesting games going on. Just ended, North Dakota defeated Southern Illinois 38-19. Youngstown State took a close one against Illinois State, winning 40-35. And starting the fourth quarter right now, South Dakota up 17-7 on Northern Iowa.
Jim Ogle, play fake. There's J.K. Carter in the flat. Bulldozed out of bounds after a pickup of a few yards. Kobe Bretz was there to meet him.
Yeah, J.K. Carter been real quiet tonight so far. Let's see if they're going to try and get him some more touches.
Back on the ground, Jordan Washington. Right side, gains 3. Third and a couple coming up. Continuing his season best performance. 55 yards, 14 carries for the redshirt freshman.
Yeah, Washington been a little bit of a workhorse so far, especially without Northington in the mix. He's going to have to take the brunt of those carries. But you do got to wonder, if Northington was in the mix today, how would those two be working together against this defense? I feel like it could be a much different game.
There's Washington in the pass game. Washington to the races. He's got a man the beat. Washington's into the end zone. There is a flag down at midfield. Potential offensive pass interference. There was a collision on what you'd see a lot of those pick plays in the pro games and in college.
Yeah, let's see if we can find the foul here. But yeah, Washington just going to put on the burners there, make it all the way into the end zone. And the way the Races are celebrating, it doesn't look like the call's coming back.
Here's the call coming from Gregory Gumpf.
There is no foul for defensive pass interference. The ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage. Result of the play is a touchdown.
The touchdown upheld 60 yards from Ogle to Washington. Season long for the two of those two.
And again, just how about the Racers in back-to-back weeks, fighting until the end. Now they're within 2 scores against the second-best team in the nation. They just continue to prove the doubters wrong, to perform well under pressure and under really good teams. I think the biggest difference between this team and last year's team is their ability to hang in there with the top schools.
Jack Tannehill knocks in the extra point. It's back to a 2-score game with still ample amounts of time to go. Can South Dakota State continue to apply pressure? They're up 2 scores with 12:10 to go here at Roy Stewart Stadium. Stadium, Murray State's yet to break through in the second half besides that touchdown a couple moments ago. Last week, there was a surprise onside kick. They're doing it again here. A high bounce that is handled by South Dakota State's upmen. It was a bit of a surprise, and it caught us by surprise there with how they set up.
Now, I do really like that call. It worked last week. I don't think South Dakota State was expecting that one, and actually it was a really good kick. It took a while for the Jackrabbits to hop on it, but you know, now the unfortunate thing for the Racers is that South Dakota State is starting in really good field position again, but there is an argument to be made that they've been starting in good field position many times over the course of this game and have only been able to cash in on a few.
Best starting field position minus that last drive for the Jacks when they were at the 47-yard line of the Racers. There's Julius Loffridge. Cutting it left side, ushered out of bounds. Kobe Roberts halted forward momentum after a gain of 5.
Yeah, and I think if you're the Jackrabbits here, just take your time. There's no reason to rush it. Take as much time off the clock as possible. You're up 2 scores. I don't really and you know, judging by the way Mason looks on the sidelines over there, I'm going to go ahead and say I think this is probably a conservative move. I think they're trying to say, hey, we still got some big games coming up. We still got North Dakota State. We still got games that we need our starting quarterback healthy for. I think they're just not trying to take the risk.
Marble on the ground. Luke Marble is hammered out of bounds. Gains a few yards on the ground. That was Spencer Kahn who was there. Speaking of those North Dakota State Bison, taking all they can from Indiana State and Terre Haute just up the road. Not a good day in terms of protecting the spreads, or at least working with the spreads if you're the top of the MVFC between South Dakota State and North Dakota State.
Oh, it would be a bad day to go to the casino.
Go back on the ground. Loffridge powers forward, moves the sticks, and keeps the clock running. Julius Loffridge, back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons, was brought in by Dan Jackson in the offseason. There was lots of turnover with South Dakota State. Their head coach, Jimmy Rogers, signed a 5-year contract with Washington State this past summer. And, I mean, if you look pre-2022, it was nothing but consistency for the Jacks. In that span, they've had 2 different coaches in the last 4 years since the end of Coach Stiegelmeier's tenure in Brookings. There's Marble. Rolling out left side. About a yard shy of the marker.
Yeah, you're talking about that consistency as well, and you got to realize before that 2022 season where South Dakota State got their national championship, got one again in 23, you're also looking at that's when North Dakota State and James Madison back at the time was FCS, and they were also at the top there as well.
Player down on the field will step aside with just over 10 minutes to play here at Roy Stewart Stadium. State still driving with just over 10 minutes to play at Roy Stewart Stadium. You get the feeling a touchdown here may be enough for the Jackrabbits to overcome a bit of a scare that's been induced by Murray State this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, this was a big trap game for the Jackrabbits. You're going up against a winless program, a team that's, 1-17 in their last 18 games, right, dating back to last season, to last September. So this is obviously a game that you expect to win.
Julius Loffridge up the middle. Gains 3 to move the chains for a first down. And speaking of those South Dakota State running backs, we had alluded to it a couple moments ago with the changes in the SDSU running back room. I mean, we've seen a lot of the backs who have been here today and have played today, but Nate White, who was a transfer from Wisconsin this last offseason, passed away unexpectedly. And earlier in the year, Dan Jackson was asked about the impact on the team, and he had said that actually brought the team closer together in the wake of Nate White's passing prior to the start of the season. Julius Loffridge has become one of those unspoken captains of the South Dakota State team. He scurries forward for a gain of a few.
Yeah, Loffridge now 20 carries on the night, just over 70 yards. He's been an absolute workhorse so far tonight.
Final year of eligibility for Loffridge. Intends on declaring for the NFL draft after the year. If not football, then pursues a future in social work, or at least is intending on pursuing a future in social work. You go back on the ground, Loffridge into that second level of the Murray State defense. Close to the line to gain. Looks like maybe about half a yard shy from the initial spot.
Now you say Loffridge might want to get into social work after this. I love that a lot of these players got their plans figured out, for what they want to do if football doesn't work out. Last week we were talking to Wankers Wright. He was talking about doing insurance.
Couple tests that Murray State is relatively passed, I would say, in back-to-back weeks. Two of the premier running backs in the MVFC, Wankers Wright of Illinois State, and then this week, Julius Loffridge. Both held under 100 yards to this point. Going back on the ground, Loffridge. Met after a gain of a yard. Couple racers were in on the stop.
And they got the first down. That's huge. I mean, a field goal, regardless, would have put it to 3 possessions. But now getting that first down, fresh set, you're on the 13-yard line looking towards the end zone. I mean, and you're still taking time off that clock. This is a huge drive for South Dakota State.
Penalty markers fly. Looks to be a procedure penalty on South Dakota State.
False start, offense, number 62, 5-yard penalty, late first down.
And it's a false start on Kenyon Bigbo, the sophomore from Oklahoma.
Now that was a crazy formation. They went trips to the weak side of the field, and then they traded their tight end over, so they had a quad set up. I don't know what play they were going to run there, but it looked like they were really trying to attack the weak side.
Still a very heavy set for South Dakota State. 2 tight ends with Andrew Gustad and Grayton Cannon on the line of scrimmage. Still on the ground. That's been the trend in this drive. And SDSU gets inside the 10. It's been a 4-man effort on the ground, and there's James Basinger getting his first touch of the half.
Yeah, Basinger doing a great job keeping his legs moving, getting some extra yards there. Not to mention there's still an opportunity to get another first down even before you score. South Dakota State can take so much time off the clock if they want to.
And Murray State may have realized how much time was being burned. That is the first timeout used by Jody Wright and the Racers in the half. Big matchups for each team coming up next week. Murray State back on the road, the battle of Youngstown State in Ohio, and then easily the biggest game of the FCS football calendar next week on linear television on national TV. Number 1 against number 2, of course, barring something happening in Terre Haute with the Sycamores possibly knocking off North Dakota State. But at the moment, it would be number 1 and number 2 in Brookings next week.
Yeah, and that's really why I think Mason just hasn't reappeared in this game. I just think they're trying to keep him healthy for the big one. Again, he's still wearing his helmet over there on the sidelines. You got to give him credit. That's what you want out of your starting quarterback. He's been nothing but supportive of his teammates on the sidelines, cheering everybody on, still got his stuff on. That's how you be a leader as a quarterback.
Marble on the give. Basinger untouched. Touchdown, Jacks. James Basinger's got his 4th touchdown of the season and his 1st of the afternoon.
Yeah, and there's the replay. He's going to take the handoff to the left side. The pulling guard's going to get the block. May have gotten away with a little bit of holding there, but a touchdown nonetheless for South Dakota State.
You get the sense that that should be game, set, match with the amount of time and how SDSU's defense is held up in the second half. 10 plays, 52 yards, spanning just under 6 minutes, capped off by that Basinger touchdown.
Yeah, now a 3-touchdown game, only 6 minutes left on the clock. There's going to be a lot for the Racers to catch up on here, and they're going to need to start with a quick touchdown drive. Everything is 4-down territory. You can't go for a field goal. You really don't want to punt. I mean, you have to go for the end zone here if you're going to make something happen.
Had alluded to that North Dakota State-Indiana State game. They are currently in a weather delay. There is an ample amount of rain and lightning in the forecast in Terre Haute, so that game is in delay due to weather. Speaking of weather delays, this game today, for those who are just now joining us, was moved up from 6 to 1 because of the heavy inclement weather that's supposed to come into Murray later tonight around 7.
Well, that's the answer they gave the general public. What they really meant was I called in and said, hey, I don't want to go to a 6 o'clock game. Can we just move it up so I can get some sleep tonight? And they said, yes, Dre, we're gonna do that. We're gonna set it up for you. You'll get some good beauty sleep tonight. So that's the real reason for you guys wondering at home.
You know, I've heard about this in the past where the alumni and the boosters have some say. I guess I kind of know where the alumni at Murray State get some say at game times, if that's the case.
Oh, 100%. And I promised one of the higher ups I'd get him a steak at Sirloin Stockade over there. For those of you at home, I did not make any promises.
Nothing binding, at least. No binding promises.
Correct.
Last I checked, verbal agreements are non-binding. There has to be some sort of paper trail.
Right. But what's the rule? If you put it on a napkin, it's legally binding. Isn't that the?
You know, I have heard that in shows and through the grapevine. This is where having law friends would come in handy. Murray State's been outscored in this half, 21-7. Last Racers' possession ended in pay dirt with 60 yards between Jim Ogle and Washington. Tyrell Campbell joins Ogle in the backfield. He's had a litany of touches today, 7 carries. Ogle on the direct snap. Up the middle. Ogle past midfield. Taken down in the secondary by Cullen McShane after a pickup of 15.
Yeah, that was a really nice run. He's going to see that hole open up down the middle. And there he goes. He's just going to commit to it. A couple of diving tacklers couldn't make the play. And Ogle going to move those chains.
Ogle back to the air. Left side hauled in. J.K. Carter out beyond the sticks, gains 11.
Yeah, J.K. Carter again, just a little bit quiet tonight. But part of that's because a lot of receivers have been getting touches tonight. We got about 9 different receivers making touches in today's game.
Ogle rolling right. Desjardins unable to pull it down.
Big respect for Desjardins. He's just going to lay out on the sidelines. I mean, I don't know on what universe anyone was ever going to get to that ball, but yeah, lay out for it. I mean, that's a guy who's leaving it all on the line.
Quiet night for Murray State's top receiver last week against Illinois State. Been held to 2 catches. Ogle back to the air, left sideline, it's picked! Toe drag swag on that end line. Jalen Lee's got his second pick of the game.
Yeah, their defense had 4 interceptions last week, and this week they pick up a third. Keeps his feet in bounds. As you said, the toe drag swag on the sidelines. And South Dakota State back with the ball, have an opportunity here to take some more time off the clock and put this game away.
7 interceptions in the last 2 games for South Dakota State. The MVFC leader in interceptions. They have 11 on the season. Five minutes to play here in regulation. Could very well see the Jacks go back to the ground game. Lafridge gains 3. So in a big story picture here, Drayton, I mean, Jody Wright has talked about spurts ad nauseum, and spurts being what Murray State's been able to do, but not anything sustained consistently. What's been the spurt that you've noticed today that you haven't seen from the Racers up to this point?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing so far has been their defense. They've done a really nice job stopping the run. Yeah, there's been a couple of big plays, and, you know, Josiah, they had a couple of guys, you know, make some plays down the stretch in the third quarter. But for the most part, you look at the first half, you look at the start of the third quarter, Murray State did a really good job stopping the run, and that's something that head coach Jody Wright has been saying, especially on that defensive line. He's been saying they needed to beef up the D-line. They needed to do a better job making tackles. And then the secondary, they've been doing a good job too. You look at this game so far, South Dakota State, the majority of their points have came from big plays. You had that big 40-yard pass to Bullock. You got a couple of deep runs there. If you prevent some of those big plays, it could be a completely different game.
They're down in 3 for the Jackrabbits. Lafridge off the edge is engulfed. Got a yard if lucky. And it's 4th and short for the Jackrabbits in a punt situation.
But as you can see, that clock is just winding down. I think this one's about wrapping up here. Yeah, and the Jackrabbits are more than happy to punt this one away.
One of the unspoken stars, or at least one of the unsung stars today for South Dakota State, Max Pelham. It's a season-high 6th punt, but everyone has been on the money. There's a racer-friendly bounce. There's the announcer's jinx as well. Flag does go flying. We'll see what the call is.
Sideline warning, Murray State. This is a warning with no penalty yardage. Only warning of the game.
All right, just the sideline warning, and the Racers with prime field position started this drive at the 44.
Now you talk about Pelham, a career high 6 punts in a game. Who is really excited about that? I mean, if you're Pelham, maybe you're excited. You're getting a lot of playing time. You get to punt a few times.
I can tell you a lot of coaches aren't very excited about that.
Well, I don't think the coaches, the fans, I mean, even Pelham is probably thinking, why am I out here 6 times tonight?
Ogle on the ground. There's Tyrell Campbell surging up the middle.
Yeah, Campbell, another one of the young guys, really making the most of getting some reps in this game. And honestly, this is the perfect time to put in your young, inexperienced guys. You know, you're playing against the second best team in the country. There's no better way to just get really good in-game reps than right now in garbage time of this matchup.
Back of the ground, Campbell stacked up in the line of scrimmage. There were 3 jacks that got there.
Run to Campbell for no gain.
And depending on how Jody Wright wants to play this, that could very well be the last play before the 2-minute timeout.
Number 51, Logan Green.
Looks like they might try to sneak something off here.
This is the 2-minute timeout. Please put 2 minutes on the game.
2 minutes to play here at Roy Stewart Stadium. The Jackrabbits well on their way to a 7th consecutive win to begin the MVFC season.
Please note that following the game, all fans are
touchdowns, a season best performance for the Dakota kid Jack Smith. Patty's 1880s settlement of Grand Rivers, Kentucky is where friends bring friends to explore and dine. Visit their website at pattys1880s.com or call to make reservations. They'll see you there.
Yeah, Jack Smith, he came into this game with only 9 receptions, 115 yards on the season, and now he's got 5 catches in this game. Almost ties his season amount of yards in this one as well. 2 touchdowns. He came into this game with 1.
Jim Ogle almost had Trace Corum in the end zone. There is a flag down as the Racers were going for it all there.
Yeah, and that's just what you got to do now. There was a little bit of a trick play that Jody Wright was telling me about. I'm kind of hoping we get to see it before it's all said and done.
Murray State, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 72 of Dakota State, those fouls offset. Those are each player's first in the game.
Okay, so offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct penalties was the call made by Gregory Goff a moment ago. It'll be a wire-to-wire win for South Dakota State. Did not trail at any point today. Ogle fires. There's a grab made. Ty Brown's first catch of the afternoon. Sets up a goal-to-go situation at the 9.
You know, as you said, South Dakota State, they've been leading wire to wire, but don't get it twisted. It hasn't been easy, and it certainly hasn't been a pretty win. The Racers have really done a good job chipping away.
Ogle toward the end zone. It's picked. 4 interception performance for the Jackrabbits defense. Jaden Oliver gets in on the party. His team leading 3rd of the season.
And for back-to-back weeks, South Dakota State defense, 4 interceptions, and here's number 4 tonight. Yeah, I mean, that was just a forced pass right there. You're looking for the end zone. The desperation was kicking in a little bit, and that's just going to be an easy interception for South Dakota State.
One of the biggest corners in the MVFC, 6'4", 185. That size epitomized the Buffalo transfer. And we talked about the running back core being decimated from a year ago, the offensive line as well for the Jacks being really different. The South Dakota State secondary also has a ton of new cast members. They're replacing an All-American corner last year, Dallas Beanham. It's been a revolving door of guys getting looks this season, but these last 2 weeks, they've looked like world beaters in the pass game.
100%. I think, you know, you talk about a lot of these new faces. With a team like South Dakota State, the biggest difference you're going to see is the size of their players. I mean, even pregame out there looking at them versus looking at Murray State, there is a significant size difference in their guys.
Couple yards on the ground, and with just over a minute to play, all but a formality that this one will wrap up in the South Dakota State win.
Number 43 for the offense needs to come off the field for one play due to helmet coming off. Murray State has declined the 10-second runoff. Clock will start on the snap.
A score update from Terre Haute. North Dakota State just scored a touchdown, so their lead on Indiana State increases to 17-7. That game was delayed for an hour due to rain and lightning in Terre Haute. On the ground, there's Johnson. Man, he's had a breakout game tonight. The freshman, Josiah Johnson. He has a rushing touchdown and is approaching 100 yards.
Yeah, Johnson now over 10 carries on the day, but Luffridge, 25 carries tonight. I mean, you want to talk about a workhorse. That is a lot of carries to take in a single game. And you got to wonder, too, a little bit with taking 25 carries in a game like this. The week before you take on North Dakota State, how much an effect is that going to have on the body, on the mental, right? So I guess we'll find out next week. That game is going to be a classic for sure.
South Dakota State's in victory formation, and that should send this one to the books. First visit to the state of Kentucky for South Dakota State since they dropped a heartbreaker to Louisville in 1978. This one will have a lot more fond memories for Jackrabbits faithful. They remain perfect on the season. A resounding win despite battling tons of adversity, with Chase Mason missing a majority of the game after the first offensive possession. And the Dan Jackson era at South Dakota State improves to 7-0 with the victory over Murray State. That'll do it from us from Roy Stewart Stadium. 35-20 14, the final in favor of South Dakota State. For Drayton, Charlton, Perrin, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Casey Roll saying so long from Murray. All games being streamed and broadcast on the ESPN family of networks are archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of the Missouri Valley Football Conference on the home of the MVFC, ESPN.